Welcome to the Warren Andrew Pinder podcast with your host, Warren Andrew Pinder, author and speaker.
Welcome to the Warren Andrew Pinder podcast show. This series topic is Dog Don't Bark at Parked Car. This is a song written by a friend of mine, Mr. Dylan McKinsey. In his words, he wrote, Dog Don't Bark at Parked Car. And it simply means that if a car is driving along, you'll always see a dog running behind it. If you stop, the dog will stop and not bark. You press the gas, the dog will run again, start barking. You stop, the dog stop, and it goes on and on. So when he wrote the song, it's something that he probably saw that dogs just don't bark at parked cars. Cars will be on the side of the road, the dog's standing, the dog's not going to bark. But I'm sure the analogy he was giving here was the fact that just like yourself, if you're standing still, everyone around you are, they're looking at you and they're cool and they're not hurrah, hooray. But the minute you do something spectacular and you begin to move, the crowd starts to roar. Now, that could be a good or a bad thing. You could become a superstar athlete and persons, they start following you. You see them on Instagram and Twitter, Facebook, following your athletic accomplishments. You're an artist, producer. They're following you, a model. They're following you. Or you could be someone who's trying to move. You could be that person who's just trying to go down the road. And when you start to move, the people around you like dogs start to bark. Because they saying, who you think you are? Where you think you going? So you're a rock. But they don't look at it like that, because when they look at the movie stars and the artists and everyone, in their fancy planes and they're doing whatever they're doing, you there following and liking, and a lot of people barking around them, and because they have achieved, and they're iconic. But little you got that idea. You trying to do something positive. And rather than, it's the dogs around you in your pack. You go back to another edition where I spoke, but life is a cycle. It's those same people around you who bark, and you know what? They trying to stop you. They trying to discourage you. So when you hear dogs don't bark at parked car, they know when the car ain't moving. You could prove it. You could go out there and drive past the average dog, and he can run after the car. I don't know if it's just because he like to see the wheels spinning. But the minute you put the brakes on, the dog stop. You press the gas, the dog start barking. So just imagine yourself. Imagine people just trying to discourage you in the biggest way. No matter who you are, you got to believe in yourself. You have to take the appropriate actions to want to, regardless of who the dogs are barking at you, to just keep going until they get tired. You have to let them bark loud so that when people see you and they say, yeah, look how they talk with him or her, and look where they are now. Let those same persons who are barking understood that you overcome, you rise above. See, where you are now, it's all about starting to envision where you want to be. I cannot say enough about the power of your mind to transcend you to a state where your physical being will end up in. If you truly believe this, you can begin to see exactly where you want to build your home. You could literally sit down and details, do a sketch in your mind, knowing the color, knowing exactly, the trees that are around. You can think these things into existence if you're prepared to take the required action. Once you begin and you sow that seed in your mind, anything that you believe you can achieve. Once you grab that and you run with it, you hold it, you secure it, you fall in love with it, you have something that's like a diamond that you'll keep digging for. You're going to go and you can start with a pickaxe just digging at it. But see, it's not you sitting down lowly right now and on the couch just thinking that, man, I want a better way of life. And, thinking about the reality of where you are. Your gratification may come a year, 2, 3 years down the line. But once you begin to harvest it, once you begin to believe it, once you begin to take action toward achieving it, you're going to get in such a way that the universe is going to continue to push you. As I said, it'll transcend you from the thoughts in your mind and allow your physical body to land where you dreamt of being. If you can just right in the place where you are right now, just believe that. If you can start to, like in the real, understand what I'm saying to you. Understanding that, this isn't going to be given to you. You have to still go out there and work. You have to actually begin to, as you say, you got to get up. You have to get up. You can't stop, take a pause and stop thinking in your mind. Even if you take action just to start to write down the thought that you dreamt of. Every day you lay down, start envisioning it. Start envisioning what it is you want. What is it that you see? Be specific about it. And then you go and you get up. It's going to be maybe 1,000 no's before you get a yes. But you already planted something so positive in you that nothing can stop you because affectionately you're carrying that in your heart. You don't have to go out there and boast about it because you know that you're going to achieve it. But you have to be so committed. You have to be intense about it. You have to literally, in achievement, I write of how intense you have to be, how you have to actually love what it is you want, what you're doing. If you really want to be and achieve it, whatever it is you're working toward, fall in love like a love story. And I speak of priority and value. Priority was strong. Value was gentle. Priority knew that in order to gain, you got to be focused. Raise a focus. Value is like, do you want me? Do you want me? Everyone gravitated to priority. That's the priority that they wanted. They want everybody. They just gravitate to, priority is cool. I need to put my priorities in the right perspective to get where I want and what I want to do. Value is sat back right there until one day she said to priority that you're too busy. You're focusing on everyone's and your priorities. But you must not want me enough. You don't value me enough. Meaning that wasn't his priority in the terms. But it's where we are that where you want to go. So you focus on what's important. Focus on what do you value.
Thank you for joining today's podcast. We'll be right back.
Achieve Men, written by Warren Andrew Pinder. In this book, you will learn the 7 steps to achieving your dreams and goals. Given the vision to share how the acronym of the word achieve can be used systematically in your day-to-day life. Each of us is given a unique gift from God. Get your copy today. Available in print, ebook, and audiobook from Amazon.
We now return to today's podcast.
What do you value? Focus on if you feel comfortable in your present position. Focus on where do you want to see your family. Focus on, is that important? And once you begin to understand the value of life, your value, what, your purpose and what you bring to the table, what can you do to change the world? And you understand that, hey, I have value. Just like the things that voices have taught me to hold on to a lot. Many have had great ideas and they're now in the grave. And those ideas are buried because they didn't know how to come out and present how valuable their thoughts and their ideas, what they had learned. They didn't know how important that was to be able to share. And see, once we identify with our values, then we make it our priority. We make everything our priority. Like, I'm here right now recording the show today, but because I share with my partners who, the circle that we've built about, we believe that we could put out a positive message. But today, our message is the value that we want to bring to the world. But I had to be here as a priority for this message to be valuable. So in your heart, God has placed in you purpose. See, we don't know the value of our purpose because we ain't tap into it. When I speak of value, is value so deep, so you can't put a dollar amount to it. Because me telling you good morning, if ain't no value, I can't pay you to say that. Either you do or you don't. But these little things are stepping stones towards you understanding your character and your self-fulfilled purpose by, first of course, getting consult and praying to God to ask Him to direct you as to your purpose. But then when we begin to put value to it, building the character, that godly character, you now are able to identify the priority. And then when you start rolling down the road and the dogs are barking, you aren't checking because you know what your purpose is. You gotta, as we say, you gotta take the action to find that purpose. Then you gotta step out of the circle you're in. You gotta step out and do something, that can cause the dogs to bark. And when you hear the dogs barking, just keep pushing because you're going toward your purpose. You're going toward your purpose. You can go on Amazon and look at my book, Achievement. It's in Kindle form, ebook, paperback. I try to encourage young men and women to unleash the power within, to achieve their dreams and impact the world. Always reach back to give to someone, but dogs don't bark at parked car. It's a nice song, a nice little jingle. If you ever heard of a Bahamian song, I know they are as well. But I just want you to understand that when you're moving and people talking about you, you keep seeking your purpose. Don't check for them. Just let them bark louder. You've been listening to the Warren Andrew Pinder podcast show. Always remember, in life, you must take action.
Thank you for listening to the Warren Andrew Pinder podcast. We hope you were encouraged and moved to take action. For more information about Warren Andrew Pinder and his book, Achieve Men, visit www.warrenandrewpinder.com.